Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, owner and operator of Pemberton Fish Finder. Today, we're going to be sharing some top secret tips and techniques about ice fishing. Get ready, hard water coming at you. Tip number one, do your homework online. There's plenty of maps that will give you a good idea as to where to start looking for structure and where fish habitat is going to be. Today, we've done our homework on Google Maps, and I'm looking for a drop-off. We're going to start drilling a series of holes looking for this very drop-off that I saw online. Start with a clean workplace. Hey, look at that. So a quick way to test your ice thickness is take your ice scoop, stuff it down the hole, hook the bottom of the ice, mark it with your finger. We've got about 20 inches of ice. Plenty of ice. If you don't have one of these fancy fish finders, you can always do it the old school way with just simply putting your lure down to the bottom, counting your cranks, or just lift it up out of the water and see how far it is. So not only is it going to tell me what the depth is here today, it's going to tell me what the structure is like. So right now that's 4.8 feet deep, and you've got weeds, so you've got about a foot of soft marl bottom with some weeds. It's good to fish in shallow waters like this, but on a bright sunny day like we have today, I would start moving out a little bit into the deeper water. And what we're going to look for is the edge of the weed bed. The fish are going to be cruising that shoreline, and they're going to catch anything that kind of sneaks out of that weed bed. Let's go find that ledge. We've got to figure it out. The hole just on the inside of us has got the weed bed, and we are roughly 4.5 feet just outside the weed bed. We've got a nice hard bottom. It's time to get jigging. Today we're going to be using a 13 fishing ice fishing rod. This one is the Widowmaker. Happens to be one of my favorites. Simple reason, it's got a little bit more of a fighting butt on it, but it also gives you a little bit more balance. Today we're using shrimp, and there's a proper way to hook shrimp on a hook. So this is a treble hook. In this lake you're allowed. So there's always a hook that faces the flat of your hook or your lure. What we do is we take the fat end of the shrimp, hook that down through the hook that faces the front of the lure, take the second hook, wrap it around, and square up your tips. The reason for hooking it this way is that if you take your bait and wrap it around the hook like this, it creates a parachute, and it doesn't allow this lure to swim off to the side. 9 out of 10 times on a strike, it's on the flutter down that the fish pick it up, and you go to jig again and it's already tight. She's ready to go in the hole. We're going to plunk her down there, and we're going to cover the depth. So right now we've got 15 feet of water roughly, and we're going to start about 4 inches off the bottom. I might even bash the bottom a couple times, stir it up a little bit, let them know I'm there, and that I'm really struggling to get away from the bottom. They're not always going to be on the bottom. They might be mid-column, they might be in the top couple feet. So we're going to cover some water just to see, and if with the electronics, if I see a fish come through the hole at a certain depth, you bet I'm going to match that. Okay? So we're going to get busy, do some jigging. The first day that we've had that's been bluebird, meaning no cloud cover, and I think the fish are a little bit gun shy. So I've moved in from the outside just to see if I can get in a little bit of weed cover here. I'm not seeing much in the way of fish. So as the sun is falling, it's casting a bit of a shadow on the far side of the lake. I've got a good feeling that as soon as we get out of this daylight, we're gonna start getting some fish in the screen. Switch it up, bud. So right now we're fishing at about 12 feet of water. The cameraman has put a dead stick just to my inside here, just to the inside toward the shoreline from me. And I'm trying my best to jig up a nice big rainbow trout. As you can see, we're located in another area that there's predominant structure. We've got some logs laying in here and a sharp drop off. So when you're jigging, you want to keep it somewhat sporadic. You want to have nice long with a solid drop so it flutters, and then little short punchy jigs making it look like it's wounded and trying to get away, like it's been spotted. So you want to mix a little bit of that all together, and then once you start seeing fish coming in, or maybe you're getting a bite, you can slow that presentation down just a little bit so that they can get it. But don't forget to keep it moving. The reason the fish is there is because of the excitement that you created is why they're there. So if you all of a sudden just stop jigging altogether, you're probably going to find that the fish is going to leave. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Eventually something's going to come in there and chow town. You can come up a couple cranks, do the same thing, get punchy, followed by a nice sweeping jig where it flutters out to the side, and then it'll swing back to the center and back to punchy. And a nice long stroke. What we have here is a short shank jig, also known as a fireball. The reason I'm putting this guy on is because of its hot colors right now in a circular motion, because I just looked down the hole and saw a ton of Daphnia. And anybody that fly fishes would know that Daphnia like to group up in balls, and trout eat them pretty regularly. So we're gonna mix it up a little bit, and we're gonna stick a chunk of shrimp on this just to make it a little extra appetizing. Because if they come up and they just have a sniff of that fireball, they're probably not gonna eat it. But if they come up there and they smell this good old shrimp, they're probably more likely to come and chow town on it. So to keep that looking pretty, we use bait buttons, one of my favorite for ice fishing jigs. And pretty simple, dispenser. This little guy slides back onto your bait like so and keeps it in place. It can't pull off. You get rid of some of that raggedy ends. And we're gonna fire this down, dead stick it. Oh, there's a fish. We got a fish here. We got a fish nibble in here. We got his attention. Oh, I missed him. I pulled it away from him. Oh, I missed him again. You're kidding me. He's there still. Jeez. You know, you go all day looking for this fish, and you finally find him, and your bait falls off. Oh, you're kidding me. He's still there, though. He's still there. He's still there. He's over there. Come and get it. Dinner is served. He's nibbling. He's nibbling. Missed him again. Oh my God, this is brutal. How many times is... Oh, and I lost my bait again. Fishing with the pros. He'll be back. Once you get a taste of Big Bad Brad's bait, you're not going to leave it alone for long. Oh God, he's probably just like, thanks. That was like an all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet. Jiggy, jiggy. Oh, get one. We got one. Oh, there we go. That's a good fish too. There we go. Dead stick. Dead stick came in big so far, boys. Oh, it's a heavy fish. We got a heavy one here, bud. It's a heavy fish. Look at this one. Woo-hoo. This is a freaking wall hanger, bud. We got a gooder out of the hole. That's a big fish. Oh, that's a big fish. That's a freaking big fish. Oh, yeah, that's a big fish. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Perseverance pays off. You guys just saw how that happened. I was sitting there jigging. I saw a fish come into my sounder. It bumped my rod, turned and grabbed the dead stick, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful rainbow. We're going to put this guy out of his misery, and we'll get right back to you. There's fish in here that are quite a bit bigger than that one too. Like that's a good fish, but I've caught them up to about 7 pounds in here.
Oh, like double that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. 7-pound fish barely fits in the hole. Yeah. I'm Brad Knowles from Pemberton Fish Finder. Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more tips like these, visit us online